This is a walkthrough video of the Ultimate Podcast Show Planner. Please note that the colors, designs, and fonts may change as we update and improve our templates, but the core functionality of this spreadsheet will remain the same. The purpose of this spreadsheet is to help you plan, organize, monetize, and grow your podcast from idea to publishing and beyond, all in one place. This planner has 14 tabs, and we're going to walk you through each one step by step so you know exactly what to do. So your very first stop is the Setup tab. This is where you're going to customize your podcast name, your name, and you're going to enter the core drop-downs that power the rest of the planner. Here are the platforms that you upload your podcast on. Here are the episode status. Do not change these ones because they are used in formulas. Here you're going to enter the intro and the outro scripts for your podcast, and this will show up in your brainstorming episode hub where you can use this in your scripts. And then here you can upload a podcast cover art. To insert an image, just go to insert image in cell, and then you're going to browse your computer and upload your picture in here. We recommend that you upload the image at 1:1 ratio. Next, we're going to go into the brainstorming tab, and this is your creative playground where your raw podcast ideas become real episodes. You can use the brain dump section at the top for the messy ideas that you're not ready to flesh out yet, and when you're ready, you can bring your idea down over here, and you can either manually walk through each prompt, or you can copy and paste the ChatGPT prompts that are pre-filled to get an AI-generated outline in minutes. So all you have to do in this one, you enter your idea in here, and then there's a prompt in here. You just Control-C, go to ChatGPT, and then paste that in here. Okay, so these prompts, they build on whatever answer you entered over here. So just make sure you fill this out. All the pink cells have the prompts. They have formulas in it building on the previous cells, so don't delete those. And again, you don't have to use them. You can just manually enter, just double clicking here, and then you can just type. When you scroll to the right, you will see also in here an intro and the outro from your Setup tab. So here you can select the one that you want to use. So you can see here that they're numbered, and you can select the ones that you're going to use. And then over here you have your full episode script. Next, you have the Show Master Planner, and this tab is your foundation. This is the core engine of your planner. Every episode starts here. You're gonna have one dedicated row per episode. Here you can enter an episode thumbnail. Again, just go to insert image in cell and then upload your thumbnail. Here you're gonna give your episode an ID so you can identify it later. Here you are going to enter the date, the episode title, the episode description, who is the podcast host. You have a guest and host tracker right here. So this part is for the guests, and this part is for the host. And then here is your podcast guest, and you can select multiple if you have more than one guest per episode. You're going to enter the length of your episode, and the recording date, and the release date. The release date also feeds the year at a glance calendar. So here all you have to do here is select the year, and if you want the calendar to start on a Monday or a Sunday. These are all your podcasts that have been released or are scheduled to be released. And then in the calendar you will see, you can zoom out over here, you will see, for example, so if you scroll down here, you have your schedule. You have the month of June and when each episode is airing. Back to the Show Master Planner. Here you have your time zone, the intro and the outro. Here you have the question bank selections, and this here will be populated from your, we have a tab in here, a question bank. So for the question bank, you're going to enter your question ID, and we already numbered them for you. You're going to enter the topic, a suggested trigger or a prompt. You're going to enter the actual question, the guest type, if it is suited for any type of guests, or if this is a question for a specific niche or for a specific type of guest. And then here you have some tag and keywords that are going to be used in your dashboard. Here you can select as many questions as you want. Social media mockup, this you can link your graphics in here. So to link something, you can either press Control or Command K. Then you just enter canva.com, for example, or you could also come over here, insert link, it opens the same thing, just different shortcuts to get here. Here is for the YouTube mockup link, like your thumbnail. Here is a link to go live. Here you can select the platforms that will be listed on. And again, this you set up at the setup tab. Here is your status of this episode. Is it in planning stage? Is it scheduled, recorded, editing, ready? Is it published? Are you promoting? Has it been completed and it's live, or have you archived it? For published links, so when you publish an episode, you can just enter in here. Let's say you did Apple Podcast and you also released this on YouTube. So then here, when you double click to edit this, you can select this text that for the Apple, for example, and just go to insert link, and then you're going to enter your direct link for this episode. And then same thing for YouTube. Just go to YouTube, grab the link, and then insert link in here. When you do this and you click on this cell, you can see the different links over here. So you can access your episodes in here. Here is if your episode has been sponsored or monetized and what you are monetizing it with. And don't edit this. They are automated. They're auto-filled from the sponsorship tab. The sponsorship tab is here. You have two parts to it. So you have the sponsorship tracker and you have the monetization tracker. So on the sponsorship side, you're going to keep track of your brand deals, your paid promos, and your partnerships. And here you have the ad type, the contact info, the brand type, outreach date. It's almost like a mini CRM here to make sure you're always following up with the brand. And you can track your deal progress just like a sales pipeline. And then for the monetization tracker, this is where you log how you earn directly through your own offers or your affiliate deals. Here you have your monetization type. And if you want to edit this drop down, just select this, clicking here. You can add and delete whatever option you have in here. So to add, just click over here. To delete, just click the remove value, just click done, and then apply to all. Then you're going to enter your name, offer, description, platform, the launch date, revenue to date. So you're going to keep track on how many sales you're making from this. And then here you're going to enter the episodes that this specific offer has been promoted on. And this will feed from your show master planner. So whenever you add more episodes in here, this will automatically update. And let's say you want to promote your meal planner spreadsheet again in your episode 11, for example, you just come back over here and just select the episode 11. Here's the income status, earning, pending, negotiation, inactive, pause, completely retired, etc. And then here's some notes for you. And this just keeps everything tight and in sync, and you will never wonder which episode had the ad again, or which episode did I promote my meal planner spreadsheet, for example. And this tab also feeds your dashboard, so you can track the revenue by type, your total deals closed, and your performance per episode. And you can use this tab to increase your revenue. So after every maybe 3 to 5 episodes, you can review this tab and ask which offers got the most revenue, which sponsors converted well, which ad types worked best. So look at your episodes with the high revenue. What were they about? Who was the guest? Use that to reverse engineer more high converting episodes. And then of course, double down on the top monetization types. For example, if the course or your membership brings, for example, 50% of your income, plan your next promotions to highlight that. Now back to the Show Master Planner. Here you have your promotion stage. So is it launch day? Is it post launch? Is it an evergreen, not started, completed? Here you have some promotions. You can assign this to people. You can link your promo assets folder if you have that in Google Drive or a Canva file. So anybody that is doing this promotion for you, even if it's yourself, can quickly access the graphics or the marketing material. Here is where you're going to track the total listens and the total downloads. Here you can use this for a script and timestamp, and then here it shows you the total listens and the total download. Here you have your most listened to podcast episode, your most downloaded, and then here it shows the episode 10 is the next upcoming episode scheduled to be released. And this is all based on your status. Next, you have your status board, and this is your Kanban style visual dashboard. And this was designed to give you a high-level view of every episode in your production pipeline. The purpose of this is so you can quickly glance at what stage each episode is in without digging through a bunch of tabs or rows. It pulls data directly from the Show Master Planner, so everything stays in sync. If you want to take a look only at your recorded episodes, you can select the filter by. If you want to see only the ones that you have published, the ones that you are currently promoting, and so forth and so on. And you can use this board weekly to check which episodes need attention. You can reassign priorities with your team. You can spot the bottlenecks. Do you have lots of episodes stuck on editing, for example? This is why we highly recommend you that you create different thumbnails for your episodes in the Show Master Planner, because this makes this board feels like a branded, polished studio tracker. It also makes it easier to spot the episode at a glance. And it can be as simple as this. You can just say episode 1, episode 3, episode 7. Even though it says right here, it's visually more attention catching. And again, if you have a team, you can use this view in your meetings with your VA, with your editor, with your team to assign the priorities and make sure that everybody's on board. Next, we have the episode hub, and this is your single episode control center. It's perfect for reviewing, sharing, and prepping each episode on one clean scrollable snapshot. So instead of jumping between multiple tabs to get the episode info, you can just select the episode ID at the top right here, and then this tab auto-populates with everything tied to the episode from the Show Master Planner, the guest tracker, and the question bank, and so forth and so on. You can see here that if you select episode 3, you have your thumbnail, you have the status, you have the title of your podcast, the release date, link to go live, mock-ups, the intro, the outro, the episode, if this has been monetized or not, sponsored, you have a record date, release date, a part over here for your promotional marketing assets, you have your timestamps. If you are interviewing a guest, you can have the questions right here. And this is the episode outline and script. So again, if you are getting ready to publish this, getting ready to record it, then you have everything in here. And you can use this tab to prep for interviews, brief your team, or to generate promo materials. You can also print this if you're collaborating with guests. So you can print this, make a portrait, click fit to width, and then you can print this and give it to your guests, and they can get prepped for the questions and know exactly what to expect from the episode and from their participation in your podcast. Okay, so we went over the guest and host tracker, we went over the sponsor and monetization tracker. Here is the promotion checklist. Think of this tab as your personal launch assistant. It helps you get maximum visibility for every episode without forgetting the important steps. And it's broken down into 4 promotion stages, and then each has 10 actionable steps, and you feel free to double click and edit all the information in here. You can delete all of this and then create your own. As you move through your launch process, you can just tick them off, and this kind of works like a mini SOP, a standard operating procedure for your podcast marketing. Next, you have the episode lookup tab, and this is your data powered command center. It gives you a searchable, filterable list of every episode and all its details all in one place. Especially useful when you want to quickly grab info without having to scan through the rows, add filters. This is very searchable. All you need to do is enter one keyword that you're looking for. It could be a word in the title, a guest name, it could be an episode ID, anything. And then here you have an option to show published episodes only. Toggle this to filter out episodes marked as published, promoting, are complete in the master planner. Next, we have the question bank, and we already went over this. Last but not least, you have your Analytics Overview tab. This tab turns your raw stats into real insights. So it's like have your monthly report card for your podcast, but prettier and more useful. So all you're going to do is you're going to select the first day of the year for your analytics start. And this is because this tracks 12 consecutive months. And each column represents 1 month. And each row is a metric, so you can have performance, engagement, monetization. This tab will require monthly manual input of your numbers, but we promise this is very helpful. If you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business, right? You can change the stats over here that you want to track. This will be pre-filled for you, but feel free to change this and then just enter your numbers in here. This little chart, it shows you the growth month over month, shows seasonal dips or spikes This green one is your highest number. The red one is your lowest number. So if you see a huge spike in April, for example, we can analyze which episode did you drop, what promotion did you run, what type of monetization was the most profitable, and just double down on what it's working. And last but not least, we have the dashboard. This tab gives you a visual snapshot of everything happening in your podcast, from episode performance to monetization to guest insights. It pulls data from the other tabs like the Show Master Planner, the Sponsor and Monetization tab, etc. This is great to track your growth over time, to show off the stats to your sponsors or any collabs that you make, and basically to make data-backed decisions for your next moves so you can grow your podcast. Over here on the top section, you have your podcast name, you have your cover image, a short description, your rating, and where you're available. This data is pulled from your setup tab, so if you update your branding, it reflects it here too. Then you have your podcast performance stats. You can see the minutes produced, which tracks the total time across the episodes, the minutes listened, the episodes released, total downloads. Next, you have an episode engagement chart. And this is a bar graph showing each episode's total listeners and each episode's download. And it's great for spotting your top episodes and which ones underperformed, so you can improve next time. Over here you have the total episodes, and this includes all the stats from archived to recorded to published to planned and so forth and so on. It tells you that you have 10 episodes, and here gives you a breakdown. Here is your brainstorming ideas funnel, how many total ideas you have, how many you're still evaluating, and how many of those ideas you have actually moved to the master planner. Here it gives you some guest stats and their performance. So here you can see that you had 5 guests in your podcast. 3 of them had a single appearance and 2 of them were returning guests. Over here you have the average public engagement per guest. You can see the Penny podcast showed up in 2 episodes, and this is his average listeners per episode. So Mike Check, Cassette Casey was in 3 episodes. These 3 over here were the single appearances. This combo of charts plus insights gives you an instant visual of who is performing best and how your guest episodes are landing with your listeners. And so here you can see that this guest is the most frequent guest on your podcast, and you can see that he was here on 3 episodes, and then these 3 people showed only on 1 episode. Basically, this just shows your high performing guests, your guests with low engagement, who to invite back and who might not be worth a return invite. Down here you have a monthly episode overview and a performance graph. So this section just gives you a zoomed in view of how your podcast performed in a specific month and how that month compares to the rest of the year. Here you can select your month. I don't have anything on February. I might have 1 in July. So all my episodes were here in June. So this will show your first 6, and here it shows the performance per month. Down here on this section, you have your sponsorship tracker, and this pulls data from your sponsor and monetization tab, and it just gives you a high level look at the deal status, income, and any follow-ups that you need to do. On this chart, you have the time spent on episodes. Shows you how long each episode took to produce and post-produce, so you can spot the time bottlenecks, the team workload trends, and just really opportunities to streamline. The yellow bars shows the days between recording the episode and adding it to the system. The teal shows you your post-production, how many days it took from recording to releasing the episode. And then the dotted yellow lines and the dotted teal lines, it just shows you your average for post-production and for production days. And what you're going to want to look for on this chart is really your efficiency trend. So if your post-production time is rising over the episodes, so for example, from episode 3 to episode 7, it's rising, you might be over editing. You might be struggling with approvals. You may be facing burnout and procrastinating. So use that insight to set better SOPs or to delegate more if you have to. And then you can use this also to set an average post-production line as your target, for example, 5 days or 2 days. So if you see that an episode is taking 8 to 10 days, that's a red flag. And it also helps you improve your strategy. So if some episodes took 6 to 7 days to produce, while others took only 2 to 3, you can ask yourself, like, what did I do differently? Were those solo episodes faster? Was a guest late? So this helps you have smoother workflows. Now let's break down the revenue by monetization type section. And this is such a gold mine for your strategy. So here on the left side, you have your episodes driving the highest monetization. So it shows you the top 3 episodes that generated the most revenue, the numbers of the offers you promoted, and how much those offers brought in. So for example, here you can see that the top 1 was episode number 4, Mom Guilt vs. CEO Life. In this episode, you had 5 offers promoted and you brought a total of over $5,000. And so this is clearly a high converting episode. So go ahead and study the title, study the content, the CTA. Did you have a guest in it? What was the timing of your promo in this? And on the right side, you have your revenue by monetization type. And this pie chart breaks down where your podcast income is coming from. This is based on how you categorized each offer in your sponsor and monetization tab. So here on this example, you can see clearly that the course or your membership is your main moneymaker. A strategy for you would be to promote this in almost every episode. And you can try different angles. You can try case studies. You can try transformation cases. You can try giving bonuses. And next would be digital product. It's $920. This likely is a lower ticket item. They're easier to sell volume wise. And next you have brand partnerships. So sponsorships are still a solid chunk of income in your podcast. Go ahead and find more partners. Just use this to diversify without distraction. So if things, for example, like donations or affiliate aren't performing, you can either optimize them with better CTAs, for example, or you can just cut them out completely so you're not cluttering your call to actions. You want to make sure you're doubling down on what's working. Over here to the side, you have a navigation menu, so you can just navigate throughout your planner. This is a big planner and tracker, so you can just navigate the tabs over here. So when you click over here, it takes you straight to that tab. Then down here, you can select a host below to see the details. When you select Nova Notes, Nova hosted 10 episodes. This is all the minutes hosted, the question that she used the most, and the latest episode hosted. Then down below over here, you have a little question toolkit. This is your go-to area for thoughtful or strategic questions to ask during the interviews. You have a question randomizer, so it's perfect for spontaneous or thought-provoking convo starters. And then down here, you can just click here to generate a new question. Here you have your question lookup and it's organized by keyword. Remember how you had this tag keywords over here? This is where it's going to be useful because you can double click in here and select a specific keyword. So when you select here, you get viral, you have all your questions that were tagged with the viral keyword, or intro, growth. So these are all questions regarding growth. So just double click and select whatever keyword and it's going to give you questions. And that's a wrap. Whew! We just walked you through every powerful corner of your ultimate podcast show planner, from planning and promotion to monetization and analytics. So this isn't just a spreadsheet, it's your all-in-one command center for running a streamlined, strategic, and scalable podcast. Whether you are brainstorm fresh episode ideas, tracking your sponsor deals, or obsessing over those post-production timelines, this planner is built to help you stay organized, grow your brand, and monetize like a CEO. Happy podcasting!